Are you stuck? How about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for Magical Moments with Alena, as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. Alena will help you take control of your life and push you to do the things you never thought you'd do. So get ready to take back your power and celebrate life with Magical Moments featuring Alena Chapman.
Welcome to Magical Moments for that ease and betterment in your life. And boy, don't we really deserve that. And I'm your host, Alena Chapman. I want to wish you a happy new year. Oh my gosh, here we go. I am so excited for this new year. I don't know about you. I have a very special guest on today. In fact, this is a very special show. This is our New Year's show, guys. This is our New Year's show. This is a new beginning. And you're saying, yeah, Alena. Sometimes I hear you. Do you know that? I hear you saying, oh, come on, Alena. Yeah, it's the same stuff. It's the same day. No, guys, no. It is a new year. It is a new beginning. And today I'm going to talk about with this wonderful man who always has a smile on his face, is always gracious to others, is always understanding that wonderful bond with other people, because that is one of the keys to making this a different year. We are the Phoenix, guys. We are the Phoenix. We've gone through all the burning and the destruction, and now we are being born again. So let's do it, right? Okay, I want to tell you a little bit about Scott. Scott Howard is the general sales manager of WOWO Radio. That's what we're on right now in Fort Wayne, Indiana, one of the 6 local stations owned by Federation Media. WOWO is nearly 100 years old. I didn't know that. Isn't that amazing? And continues to be both the most listened to station and top billing station in both our company and also in Fort Wayne. Scott has been with WOWO since 2013, and his background includes sales and management positions in both Indiana and Detroit after starting his broadcasting career on the air and in programming a few decades ago. Since 2004, Scott has been writing and publishing media and marketing insights every week at his www.scotthoward.me. I like that. and launched the genuine Skoloho, and he will correct me on that if that's wrong. Skoloho, SCLOHO Media and Marketing Podcast, also updated weekly with over 200 episodes under 10 minutes each. Perfect. And with that, I'm going to bring him right on. Okay, so how do I pronounce this?
You are the 543rd person to mispronounce it. It's Skloho. It's simply the first 2 letters, my first name, middle name, and last name.
Say it again.
Skloho.
Sklo, like a little.
Use 2 syllables. Sklo.
Sklo. Lo. Oh no, L. I'm doubling the L. Sklo.
Skloho. Yeah.
Low. Got it. All right, guys, if you're doing better than me on this, good for you. But let's move on a little bit because, Scott, we are the Phoenix. I mean, we have been through a heck of a lot as a nation, as a people, as everything. But we're not even just the United States. The whole world has.
Absolutely.
So here we are. We've got a new year. We have a new year. I mean, all the signs say we are moving forward in a new way. And I think you have incredible insights in some of the things that are going on inside of us. I mean, with this new, when we're born as a new Phoenix, we have to leave things behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sometimes we get stuck with that, whether it's stuff with ourselves or stuff with others. We tend to either hold grudges or just get stuck in that past, and we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm
going to play the naysayer.
Okay.
I think people are caught up in the drama. You get addicted to drama. And we've had 5 years of drama now. A constant, oh my gosh, what does the news say? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this? Oh my gosh, another thing. Oh, now we got the pandemic. Now we wear masks. Now we don't wear masks. Now we've got someone attacking the Capitol. Now we don't have someone. We have drama.
Right.
Drama. And that's a fight or flight. And when you wake up without that drama, you're saying, now what?
And I know so many people who are caught up in all these things that are beyond their control.
Yeah.
And the challenge is to realize what you do have some control over and what you don't have control over, and not to get stuck in those pits, and instead, climb yourself out of those. But then also realize that the people that you're dealing with, whether they're friends, family, strangers, the person who's serving you your coffee in the morning, like when you came here and you told me about how they handed you your latte, and instead of rattling off all the special Alena specialties in there, she just said, here's your latte with stuff.
With stuff. With stuff.
And that's fun.
And then when I told you, when she did that, instead of going on to my, oh, you've got to get this right attitude, or that, well, how come she can't? It's funny, all the trauma and things will put us in a position where we're not seeing what's really happening. That was a special moment, right? And when I started laughing and I said, all that stuff, huh? And she started laughing. She goes, yeah. And like I told you, it created a special bond. We both started laughing. And now every time I go back, I'll say, hey, do you have my latte with all my stuff? And she'll start laughing. And then that'll lead to other things. It's getting out of your own head.
Yeah. I mean, we think about ourselves more than anybody else thinks about us.
Yes, isn't that
And
true?
that can be good or bad, because as you've said over the years on your program about how we need to stop listening to the negative voices inside of us. But, everybody's going through some difficulties and some traumas. And here with a brand new year, it's an opportunity for us to start fresh. But you know what? We're going to fail. We're going to repeat some of the habits that we thought we left behind in December. And come middle of January, we're going to say, I'm doing it again. But it's okay, because we don't have to just say, well, I guess I'm a failure at that again. But no, just start over each day.
And that's the thing. I hate to say failure, because I don't. We Bob says you fall in the same hole. Everybody decorates it. It's just, it didn't go right. You did it again, and there's a reason. And why did you do it? The thing is to look at it and say, okay, so why? And not in a punishing way. Oh my gosh, stop beating yourself up. You just made the same mistake. And if you made the same mistake, that means you just haven't learned it the first time. That's all it means.
Yeah.
Nothing big. So look for what it is. I was telling Scott, I've owned a lot of companies in my life. I've done a lot of things. And I just ran across a thing in my company that I have done 100 times, giving my power away. Yes, I did it too, folks. And when I gave my power away, it was because of everything that was going on. My mom was dying. She was sick. I was trying to learn those lessons so I could deal with it, which is important. I was, I have 3 kids, and there were excuses. But I gave my power away. At that time, it was good. Everybody was running the business without me. But see, this has happened before. And even though it was convenient, I was falling into the same hole.
Yep. There's a term that, I don't know if you've used this term, but my wife, as a nurse, has used this term in dealing with other people, because she did a lot of individual care as a hospice nurse, and before that doing in-home nursing care. And that is to be your own advocate, because there is nobody else who is going to be as in tune with you as you are. You're the only person who's known you from birth. We die alone. We're born with others around us, but
but you're still alone.
Yeah, and we run into wonderful people who come and go in our lives, but we have to be our own best advocate, and the only way to do that is to recognize, okay, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
And then also the people around us. realize that they're not perfect, so we have to be careful about setting too high expectations for them. We can set the expectations, but also give them grace when things don't work out.
Yeah. Or don't even expect. I love, even in my business, I mean, I do have expectation on what should be done. But it's funny, when I kind of, now that I'm back in control, when I kind of then I give them an assignment, I actually think, I have the expectation that it'll be done. That's about as far as it goes.
Right.
But how they do it and their creativity and how it comes into play, that's what I find so fascinating, that they add them into it. I think that's your grace that you're talking about, or that freedom, or that just allowing, oh my God, here's an idea. Let's let people be people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And their own people, you know?
In the role that I'm in right now, which I've been in now for a couple of years, I've been in a managerial position before, but one of the things that's different is it's more of a coaching role. And it reminds me of back being a parent, and you don't tell your kids to do things and give them the instructions and say you have to do it this way or it's wrong. You tell them.
Some people do, actually.
Yeah. And you have to do that sometimes with certain things. But my goal for my kids was to become independent.
Me too.
And to figure it out. Here's the end result we're looking for, or maybe you can come up with a better one. So, same thing when we're working with people. Unfortunately, where we're at right now, the radio station that you're broadcasting on that I'm a part of, we have that same attitude where we're coaching and mentoring people. And so when you're dealing with the things that you're doing with your company and you're taking control of things again, you want to give people assignments and then have them figure out the best way to do that.
Right.
And give them that
creative
freedom. Yeah.
Give them the creative freedom, because that's when they start to shine. But it is, you do have expectation. And even with yourself, you have this, you get this goal. You say, okay, Alena, I listened to Alena's show. Yeah. I listened to Scott. I'm going to treat this like a new world. I'm going to step forward. You got to feel, you're going to step forward and you're going to create something. And you're going to, you hope to enjoy the process. But if we put ourselves in that stringent little jacket, wrap ourselves up, and this is how it has to play out. These are the steps I have to do. This is what I am going to attain. This is what I'm going, and you get your little, what do they call those graphs you put on the computer now? Do this by this date, this by this date. You're going to be disappointed.
So, Alena, how do you advise people to move forward as they're transitioning from 2021 into 2022?
I think we just changed the interviewing process. Oh, that was smooth. All right, I'll offer that. Believe it or not, it's not what you would expect.
Tell me more.
I think right now to break. You got to break energy. Do you know what I mean? If you're in, there's so much to energy, guys. I mean, I've known about energy forever, but the more I learn, the more I know I don't know. And the power of energy is phenomenal. That's why Albert Einstein said energy it's everywhere and it is ever evolving. And this is the thing, if you are in a negative energy, that's powerful. It is fire in your belly. It's fire around you. And it's fire can be cleansing, but it can also be destroying. And so when you've got to break that energy to be able to think clearly, you cannot create something new when you are surrounded by the same fire and stuff that was feeding that fire. You can't do it. You have to have something new. So you got to break it. So how do you break the energy? Well, one of the things I always say is, okay, allow a little time for daydreaming. Mm-hmm. Start to get yourself out. Just daydream. Daydreaming is so much fun. You get yourself out of that world. Okay, you're upset with politics. All right. Start daydreaming your president. Start daydreaming your head of Greenpeace, if that's what you like. Start daydreaming you're in the position. What would you do? And you're saying, really? Yes. Or start daydreaming you're starting a new world on Mars. I'm serious. What would it be like to live on Mars? What you're doing is you're starting to tickle your imagination, and you'll laugh, you'll do things funny, and you'll think, oh my gosh, that's so crazy, but God, that was fun. And then all of a sudden, the daydreams will get into, well, what I want to do with my life. And after living on Mars and being president, what you want to do with your life is very much more realistic. Do you see what I'm saying? You broke the cycle with the craziness, and you started to see opportunity. So the fires, you subsided it with water. That's what you did. You blew out that fire with water, and you created another energy just with that.
So it sounds like what you're describing is going back to the freedom we had when we were,
Exactly.
3, 4, 10 years old, before all the adulting put some chains on us, and go back to, just daydreaming about what could things be like.
Swing on the swing set. Yeah.
Applying those things to your life. The other thing that I do along with that is to sort of take inventory. What are some of the things that I don't want to have happen anymore, so that I have a conscious effort?
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes we wander down paths that are not good for us.
Yeah.
And if we don't recognize that, whether they're thought patterns or physical activities we're doing or people we're associating with, and we need to make those changes, if we don't stop and recognize those things, then we'll continue to go down those in a and if we keep it in the subconscious and not bring it up to the conscious level, then we're going to continue to have challenges with that.
Big key. And I want to explain that a little bit, because that is, Scott, that's gold. Because when you're in that negative energy and that fire, you don't know what's polluting you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just feeding a fire, and that fire feels good for a while until it destroys you. So when all of a sudden you break that energy. I told you one time when I was, when my kids were little, I would drop them off at school, and then I talked to these mothers.
Right.
Oh my God. And it was so negative, and I never noticed it before. But once I broke the energy from me with a little, and there's other things to do, but one of them is that daydreaming, then all of a sudden I didn't want that heaviness. It changes you. And then you have to be smart and say, well, this isn't what I want in my life.
Absolutely.
That's the setting up the boundaries. Stuff starts to happen that way.
Some practical things. I mean, you and I have gone through divorces in our individual lives.
Oh, God, yes.
And come out on the other side. I've got a friend of mine who's in the middle of it right now, and I encourage him by saying, I've been through what you've gone through. I know what it's like on the other side. But, we've had, as you mentioned at the beginning of your program, there's been all types of negative things going on. Deaths of loved ones, deaths of friends.
It's been hard.
Political turmoil, families being torn apart by those things.
Yeah.
But those things are just what's going on in the here and now. So stop focusing on just those negative things. My advice to friends and family is to walk away from some of that stuff and focus in on some of the things you do have some control over.
Yeah.
If you want to be a political animal, then start locally. If you if you want to be involved with something on the spiritual side, then be involved with that. Make a difference in somebody's life. It doesn't have to be something that sets the whole world on fire, but
little stuff.
Yeah, you've touched individual people who've come to you and told you that, and there's plenty of others that we have an impact on that we may never know. A comment that we made, that the person who handed you your latte with lots of stuff in it, you probably made her day because of accepting that.
She needed a joke. She needed some fun. Like I said, that created a bond, and she was tired. And I read that. I didn't read what she had really said. I read, oh, wow, she has had a long morning. And so why give her a harder time? It's just, you have to get out of yourself. And I think that's one of the things. I think people have to understand that when they get out of themselves and really look at other people, gosh, they'll see that they're not the only ones with stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to comment a little bit. You know, we were talking about families that have lost, and we were going. We have a lot of family gatherings. I know Christmas happens on the 25th, but people are meeting all with families all through January. And when they do, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and people have to deal with it. But here's the thing. I say deal with as much grace as you can with the situation. And if somebody is just awful, walk away. Because until you're strong in yourself, like you've done some of the things, like you see that you are the phoenix. You see that you are breaking that energy, that you are giving grace, that you're feeding yourself good things and creating healthy boundaries around yourself. You just are starting to, what you're doing, my dear friends, is you're healing. And you've got to heal before you move forward. And then another thing, pray as if things are already there. Say gratitude prayers instead of, if you do these things, then when you're stronger, when that relative who is the know-it-all at the party, or the one who loves to get your goat, you know, and I know because I have those people in my family too. When you have those, you will all of a sudden be strong enough to see what's at the deeper level. And
Absolutely.
You can address that. Yeah?
Absolutely. Yes.
Don't you find, now that you've done work on yourself, and divorce does that, it makes us all work on ourselves. But, and I've done that too, of course. But don't you find that it's like really fun to be a part of, or just helping in little ways other people that you see in your daily life?
Yeah, and my mind started to wander there when you mentioned being divorced, because I've actually now been married for over 20 years, the second time.
Wow, good for you.
And it was the learning process of reflecting on what happened in that first relationship that helped my wife and I, because she was previously married, to be able to know how we wanted to be treated and to treat the other person, and have a lot of self-talk. So the people that we were, as I've said to my wife, I said, we probably wouldn't have been good first partners to each other, because we had to go through some of those things to be able to be the people that we were when we did meet later in life. Yeah, you had to go through the growth. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's cool that you guys did that. And that is a big, giant step, because you didn't fall in the same hole. You know what I mean? You didn't make the same mistakes in that marriage. That's how you do with life.
Right.
You've got to look behind. Say, what didn't I like? What didn't I, okay, so here I am. I've got something new. I'm the phoenix being born. I love that. That is my whole thing. The phoenix being born. And I don't want that job that has been so dissatisfying. So what do I do about it? I don't want that relationship that has caused me so much pain. I don't want. So then we have to start. It's registering that first.
Right. You've identifying those negative things that you don't want anymore, so that you know, okay, what don't I want? So then you can figure out what you do want. Yeah. To counterbalance that, and then you can start seeking that. And as you said, be grateful for the things that you have, and to search out the things that actually will fulfill you in ways that what you're currently doing is not. And it's like climbing a ladder, but it's not just a straight shot. It's going up and down.
Life is. That's how we learn. Yeah. That's what we're here for. We're here to experience. Yep. If everything was grandiose and fine, we would have stayed in heaven. Right? So I think, it is time. You guys, you have this wonderful opportunity. We mark it in the calendars. It's our new beginning. And so what is it you want? What is it you want? And then start not putting up with the things you don't want, and start breaking the energy with daydreaming, doing some things that are fun, really looking at people and participating. Maybe writing down a few things that you dream about. And definitely, once you know what you want, start to pray as if it's already there. Thank you, Source, God, Universe. Thank you so much for bringing me all these possibilities and opportunities. Thank you for helping me with my life coming forward in wondrous and glorious ways that I love and can live every day. You know, you do that every morning and it fills your heart with so much openness. Not just love, but openness, possibility. And you won't settle for listening to the news every morning or getting wrapped up in the drama of things. Right?
Absolutely.
Scott?
Thank you for allowing me to sit in and chat with you today.
You're such a beautiful person. I wanted to have you on to start this new year and show people it's real. For all of you out there, guys, look up. Say it for everybody. Your Scolo thing.
Scloho. S-C-L-O-H-O.
I love that because he has really cool insights. Do look that up, folks. And then also take a look. If you're looking for... You know, if you really want to create that life for you, you want that new job, you want that new career, you want that new love, then, guys, that's manifestation. And if you're looking for manifestation, you got to look at soulmanifesto.com because that's what I help you with so much. That's one of the things. And one of the biggest things is Inevitable You. So it's a wonderful program that will help you to break that cycle of negativity so that your mind is free to really start dreaming what you want to dream and make it happen. Anyway, I want you to have the best 2022 year possible. And remember, light is the way we want to be. And to do that, we need to fill ourselves with love. Namaste, everyone.
This has been Magical Moments with Alena, featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.